A very good morning, dear students. So again, we come with upon a new video on gymnosperms. So in the last part 1 and part 2, we studied general characteristics of gymnosperm and classification of gymnosperm. So in this class, we are going to study examples of gymnosperm. In that, today we are going to study again cycas. Cycas nothing but it is a gymnosperm which comes under Cycadaceae family and order Cycadales. So here Cycas division Cycadophyta, class Cycadopsida, order Cycadales, family Cycadaceae and genus Cycas. So here Cycas is a gymnosperm. It belongs to the order Cycadales. The plant are confined to tropical and subtropical regions of the world. So Cycas mainly present in a tropical and subtropical regions and most abundantly in Australia. The large number of species are present in Australia. Cycas revoluta, the sago palm of China and Japan, is the most cultivated species all over the world. So Cycas revoluta is an example. We call it as a sago palm and it is cultivated because it is a edible. Sago nothing but it is a starch, edible starch. That's why the Cycas is cultivated more in the world, especially in China and Japan. Cycas has 20 species. In India, the genus is represented by 6 species, but all over the it has a 20 species. So here some examples: Cycas cercinalis, Cycas pectinata and Cycas bedomi. These are some examples here. And Cycas media is the tallest species which grow up to 20 feet in height. So Cycas media is the tallest cycas and it grows up to 20 feet in height. And a cycas is a palm like plant. Nothing but for example for a coconut tree. Cycas also looks like a coconut tree because it is a palm like plant and it is an evergreen. In all season it is green only and the plant is diploid sporophyte. Sporophyte nothing but the plant consists of root, stem and leaves. The roots are of two types here. While studying general characters of gymnosperm, you already studied some characteristics of a cycas, right? So the roots are of normally taproot. It is cycas is a normally taproot. In that again it is of two types. One is a taproot system and another one is a corolloid roots. Corolloid root is the most distinct one and it is important one for your study. The taproots are positively geotrophic. The first type is a taproot which is a positively geotrophic and they have root hairs. Positively geotrophic nothing but they grow under the soil, under the ground and they have a small root hairs here. These roots fix the plant in the soil and absorb water and minerals. Right. So these normal roots are especially made for the attachment, nothing but to fix the plant and to absorb mineral and water from the soil. So normal roots develop from lateral branches that bear vertical negatively geotrophic roots. So second type, that's nothing but a special type of roots. Those are nothing but grow negatively geotrophic, nothing but they grow upon the soil, right? And they are having special features here. These roots are repeatedly dichotomously branched and are coral like because they are a little bit hard. They look like a stone like and they are dichotomously branched here. So they are called as a coralloid root because they look like a coral. These roots get infected with a blue-green algae like nostoc or a anabina. That's why they are a special type of roots because They are infected by blue-green algae like Nostoca and Anabaena. Next comes stem. Stem is a thick, woody and branched. The young stem is a tuberous while the mature stem is columnar. Here also stem is thick, woody and while in a young it is a tuberous, while in a mature it is a columnar, erect, right, and a stout. Stout nothing but a strong and thick stem it is. It is covered with a persistent leaf base here. The stem bears a terminal group of leaves. So here in this tree in cycas, the leaves are present in the terminal part of the stem. The leaves are dimorphic here. Here leaves are dimorphic because here two types of leaves are present here. While studying gymnosperm character, there also you studied the types of leaves. Here also leaves are of two types. One is foliage leaves and scaly leaves. The foliage leaves are green, large, pinnately compound with a spiny petiole. So here foliage leaves are a large green color and a pinnately compound with a spiny petiole here. The leaves are spirally arranged. They are arranged in a spiral form and each leaf consists of a rachis here. Each leaf consists of a single large rachis, and on that rachis you find 80 to 100 pairs of pinnae or a leaflets here. The pinnae are closely arranged opposite to one another on the rachis. So on the single large rachis you find 80 to 100 pairs of pinnae, and those are arranged opposite to one another. So you can see here two types of leaves. One is a small scaly leaves and another one is a large green color foliage leaf which is having a single vein and a single midrib. So each pinna is a tough, leathery and entire with a definite midrib and no lateral vein. So here single midrib is present and it is tough, leathery and entire leaf. Here veins are not present here, lateral veins. So leaves when young have cercinate coiled pinnae which are covered with the hairs. So when the foliage leaves are young, they are having cercinate venice or a cercinate coil. Nothing better, they are circular. At the tip region they are round up, rolled up, and which is covered with the hairs here. Next comes scaly leaves. Scaly leaves are also known as cataphyllus. These are a dry, small, brown colored triangular leaves. So here you can see here they are a brown colored, dry and a small. They are in a triangular leaves and covered with the hairs here. They are covered with the hairs. These scaly leaves are present at the apex of the stem. So they are present in the apex of the stem and young developing foliage leaves. So where in young developing foliage leaves there also scaly leaves are present and at the stem apex. Scales are also persistent like leaf base. They also are like a leaf bases only. And next, cycas plant grow very slowly but live for ages. So the development of the cycas plant is growth is slow, but it can live for a longer period. Right? Cycas cercinalis can survive for a long period of 100 years. For example, Cycas cercinalis, which is of a long year, up to the 100 years it can live. And here Cycas is a dioecious. Dioecious nothing but there is a separate plant. The reproductive organs are present separately. It is a male and female plants. The male plants are the female plants are common, but male plants are rare. So here female plants you can see commonly, but male plants are rare. The reproductive structures are produced as a cones here. So in cycas, the reproductive structure arrangement is in a cone form. So here you can see it's a male plant and here it's a female plant. It is the reproductive organ is arranged in a cone form here, and in the female plant here you find a large ovals. You can see a reddish orange color. It's a large oval and we can see through our naked eyes also. So these are some general characteristics of a cycas. Nothing but it is a large tree and the leaves are present at the apex of the stem, and stem is a tough woody, and here you find two types of leaves, scaly leaves and foliage leaves, and the roots are of two types. One is a simple taproot and a corolloid root, and the plant is a dioecious because here male and female plant are separate. So next comes internal structure of the cycas. Next comes internal structure. So in the internal structure, first we are going to study normal root. How the normal root of cycas will be. When you take a transverse section of a cycas root, you see the structure like this. Here the transverse section of a young root is circular, nothing but it is in a circular round, and it is resembles with a dicotyledonous in structure, same as a dicotyledonous root, just dicot root we call. Just like that only, it is differentiated into outer epiblema, inner cortex, pericycle and central vascular stela region. So outermost is a epiblema, right out, and it is single layer. The outer layer is a epiblema and it is a single layered. It is composed of a thin walled cells. The outer epiblema is composed of a single layered thin walled cells, and it is having covered with a cuticle here, and root hairs are given out from some of these cells. So from epiblema cells the root hairs arise and it is covered with a cuticle. Next come cortical region here, nothing but cortex. The cortex is multi-layered here. You can see here it is multi-layered and parenchymatous. Here cells are a parenchyma. The cells are filled with the starch. Some are filled with the starch, some tannin filled cells. Some are tannin filled cells, some are starch filled, and nothing but some are of having mucilage cells, nothing but saprophytes are also present here, nothing but it is a starch. And in the endodermal cells, next it is covered with a single layered endodermal cells, and it is shows Casparian strips. Here single layered endodermal cells which shows Casparian strips, and it is followed by a pericycle, multi-layered nothing but 2 to 3 layered pericycle. And next comes central important region, that's a vascular stele. The vascular stele consists of radial vascular bundles. Here the vascular stele consists of a radial vascular bundles. Xylem and phloem alternate to each other. They are present alternate to each other. The root is diarch with two protoxylem groups. The root is diarch here because it is having two protoxylem groups here. The xylem is exarch. The xylem is exarch here. The protoxylem is consist of spirally tracheates. The protoxylem consists of a spiral tracheates, and a metaxylem consists scalariform tracheates here. There are two types, spiral tracheates and a scalariform tracheates. Xylem vessels are absent here. Here only tracheates are present, xylem vessels are absent. And next, phloem consists of sieve tube and phloem parenchyma. Here in phloem companion cells are absent, only sieve tube and phloem parenchyma are present, and pith is absent here. Here pith is absent. So these are the internal structure of the root, transverse section of the root characters. Here it is covered with a single layered and endodermis or a epidermis or a epiblema we call. It is a single layered and covered with a cuticle, and it is followed by cortical region. Nothing but multi-layered parenchyma cells, and it is filled with the starch, mucilaginous cells, tannin-filled cells, and it is followed by endodermis, which shows Casparian strips, and it is followed by multi-layered pericycle, and it is followed by vascular stele, consists of radial vascular bundles here, which is having xylem and phloem alternate to each other. The root is diarch with two protoxylem groups, and here xylem is exarch and consists of a spiral tracheids and a scalariform tracheids, and phloem consists of sieve tube and a phloem parenchyma, while pith is absent here. So next comes in a root secondary growth also present here in roots. When you take a old root, transverse section of a old root, it shows secondary growth as in dicots. So it is same as in dicots only here. So you studied the secondary growth before. So the epiblema gets ruptured here. The outer layer gets ruptured. Some cells of the outer cortical region become meristematic. So when the outer epiblema get ruptured, the outer cortical region becomes meristematic and function as a cork cambium here. The meristematic cells function as a cork cambium. It produces cork towards the outer side, while it produces cork towards outer side and the secondary cortex towards the inner side. The cork cambium will again produce cork outer side and a secondary cortex towards the inner side. Cork cells are dead and full of suberin. So outer layer cork cells are dead here, they are hard. While next the endodermis is single layered and is followed by many layered pericycle. So here now comes the pericycle. The pericycles become meristematic and form a complete cambial ring. So here cambial ring formation occur while pericycle cell becomes meristematic. It produces secondary phloem towards the outer side and a secondary xylem towards the inner side. While before only they are having primary xylem and phloem, here while secondary growth they produce a secondary phloem outside and a secondary xylem towards inside. The primary phloem gets crushed here. Medullary rays are formed here, while the primary phloem crushed and a medullary rays are formed. In the center, a small parenchymatous pith is present here, while in a primary the pith is absent, while in a secondary growth of a root, here a small parenchymatous pith is present. So this is the same as in a dicot root. Here secondary growth is similar as in a cycas root also. So next comes main important part, that's a transverse section of a coralloid root. So when you take a transverse section of a coralloid root, it is just similar like a normal root only difference is in a cortical region and little bit in a stela region only. So cortical region, the transverse section of a coralloid root is almost similar to that of the normal root. It is differentiated into epiblema, cortex, pericycle, vascular stele and a pith. The epiblema is the outermost layer. It is single layered. Here also epiblema is the outermost and here it is single layered, but here root hairs are absent. Cortex is multi-layered and parenchymatous. Same as a normal root, it is also multi-layered and parenchymatous. The cortex is divided into in outer cortex and a middle cortex and a inner cortex here. The outer cortex is a normal, while the normal parenchymatous, while middle cortex with algal zone and a inner cortex. So here the outer cortex is of made up of parenchymatous cells, while middle cortex is with a algal zone. The algal zone has radially elongated cells in the middle of the cortex, in which blue-green alga anabaena is present. So in the middle cortex, the cells are radially elongated and they are blue-green algae is present in that. That's a anabaena. While inner cortex is also normal parenchymatous. Here you can see here the outer cortex, middle cortex and inner cortex. The middle cortex, the cells are elongated and which blue-green algae is present here, anabaena. And again inner cortex which are having parenchymatous cells only. Here comes vascular stele, consists of radial vascular bundles. The stele consists of radial vascular bundles. Xylem is triarch and exarch. The xylem is three arc and exarch. Secondary growth is generally absent. In coralloid root, secondary growth is absent here. The center small pith is present. So here in a normal coralloid root only center pith is present, but secondary growth is absent here. For your examination, the coralloid root is very important for your practical purpose also. So in this video we studied cycas general characteristics and internal structure of a root, both type, normal root and a coralloid root. I think you all understood this video. We come next with upon a new video on a stem, internal structure and a leaf of a cycas. So thank you.